Hi and welcome to my channel. So all UK employers are not the same. So if you're applying for jobs in the UK or you're currently in this country, it is absolutely crucial that you know which are the best employers that you should be going for. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you so many advantages, in fact 6 advantages why you should be working for the NHS. So the NHS is a national health service in the UK. So it's the government, but anybody can apply. And the best thing is that obviously they offer visa sponsorship. So whether you're in the UK or you're out of this beautiful country, you should 100% consider applying for the NHS because of the advantages that I'm going to talk about. And the best thing is that they've got clinical jobs, non-clinical jobs, whether you're a nurse, you're a carer, you're in IT, you're in HR, you're in business, you're in finance. The NHS recruits for all positions, and I've got loads of entry-level jobs that are just so amazing. So if you're new to my channel, obviously you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I hope that you're finding these videos helpful, and most importantly that you're putting yourself forward for these opportunities to make sure that you are getting the best out of your UK journey. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, take this opportunity now to hit the subscribe button so that you're the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. Also, by the way, one of the best things that I like about the NHS before I even get started is the fact that it is completely drama free. So the drama that goes on, for example, with visa sponsorship and private organizations threatening you, employers doing all sorts of things, you don't really get to have that with the NHS compared to all those other organizations. So the job security you have, it is something that it brings you amazing peace of mind that you will rarely get elsewhere. So I also offer personalized guidance, by the way, to get jobs with the NHS because it's one of those organizations where if you don't understand the processes, the systems, and all of that, it can be incredibly challenging getting the job. Also, the application process is very unique compared to all other application processes in the UK. So if you're applying, say, to work in a nursing home, it's completely different from NHS jobs. And also their interview process, you better be on top of your game, otherwise it's going to be very challenging. So I've got a private career coaching program where I offer that personalized guidance to get NHS jobs and to make sure that you're not spending thousands of pounds, you're not languishing in the UK, you're not struggling with employers that don't deserve you, don't know your worth, and that you are really flourishing and taking on some of those opportunities that you rightfully so deserve. So that's what it's about. And myself, by the way, I've worked for the NHS now since 2012. So that's about how many years is that? Like, I've got no idea now. I think it's like 11 years since I've worked for the NHS. I've always worked full time for the NHS since I discovered it. I started as a carer, by the way, in a nursing home. And then, I did domiciliary care. I've done support work. I've done all sorts of carer jobs. And then I was like, look, I've had enough. I need some stability. And so that's when I studied nursing, in the UK. And then I transitioned, obviously, to work for the NHS. And I've progressed beautifully, working for the NHS. And this leads us to the next advantage, working for the NHS, which is career progression. So career progression is something that the NHS has loads of opportunities, especially if you have the guidance, if you have the courage to get on and actually take on those opportunities, because it's one thing having opportunities, but it's another thing going for those opportunities. So again, they've got those opportunities. And in my time working for the NHS, I have done 2 apprenticeships. So my first apprenticeship, was to I think it was for my master's in mentorship in nursing. And then my next apprenticeship, which I've recently just finished, that was for my master's in advanced clinical practice. So that was 3 years, because I have now progressed to an advanced nurse practitioner, which is the most senior clinical nursing position. And the reason why I like to share my experiences with yourself is to let you know that these opportunities are available, and that if you put in the effort that is needed, these opportunities are available to you. It takes a lot of effort, in order to get them. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy. You need a lot of advice, mentorship. I've got mentors across literally all sectors when it comes to nursing. I've also got mentors who are out of nursing but really senior within various organizations. And so that is how I get that holistic coaching and mentorship for me to keep progressing in my career. Because no matter how much you're progressing, You need mentorship in your career in order to succeed, especially in the UK, because it's hard otherwise. If you don't know what they need, how are you going to produce it? So, career progression is amazing. They've got loads of apprenticeships. If you're a carer, for example, you want to become a nurse, you can go for those apprenticeships where they'll pay you to work, offer you visa sponsorship, and pay your tuition fees, which, look, it is a no brainer. Many of the jobs also don't require any degree or experience. That's another advantage working for the NHS, because people sometimes think, oh, if I don't have a degree or if I don't have IELTS, what am I going to do? No, many jobs, that the NHS is recruiting for currently don't require any degree, any experience, any IELTS, nothing whatsoever. All you need to do is understand the ins and outs of the actual job. I also do, by the way, have a free newsletter. I've dropped the link in the comment section below. You can feel free to join. I share info about free visa sponsorship opportunities to move to the UK. Visa sponsorship opportunities, like I've said, if you're looking to switch, if you're already in this beautiful country, work from home jobs, side hustle ideas that you can get started with, career progression opportunities that you can pursue in order to keep progressing, obviously, in your career. You're also going to see my contact details on there, as well as my email, my WhatsApp number, so that if you need to get in touch for something personal, then do feel free to use that. Otherwise, please leave a comment in the comment section below with any concerns, questions that you have, so that I'll pick them up as and when they become available. Also, if you like this content, by the way, just hit the like button. It lets me know you enjoy content like this, and obviously I should do more. So the next advantage working for the NHS is flexibility. Look, the fact that the NHS is a massive organization, it is really flexible, which means if you get a job, for example, on a particular ward, let me give an example, that you're a clinical member of staff like myself, so you're a nurse or a carer. If you don't like the place where you're working for whatever reason, it could be the specialty, it could be that it's just not for you. Let's say you're working in cardiology and you're like, oh my God, I'm so passionate about diabetes. I want to work in diabetes. You can transition to another ward without having to apply for jobs and go through the lengthy processes that you would normally go through. Better still, if you've got visa sponsorship, you can transition to another specialty without changing your employer, without switching your visa or changing your visa, or without updating your visa, which is a massive thing if you're on visa sponsorship in the UK. And that is why, in my coaching program, when I say to people, look, the NHS job is going to take you longer to get, but the advantages are absolutely immense. The fact that you're going to get that patience, you're going to put yourself forward, you're going to learn what the job is about, that really is going to pay off in the end. So please, if you're watching this and you're struggling to apply for NHS jobs, what do you need to help you with that process? What is the one thing that would make a difference with that process? Please leave a comment in the comment section below, so that if it's something I can help with, I'm more than happy to share some helpful tips and info, obviously, with you, because having progressed in the NHS myself to the most senior clinical nursing position, I've got extensive experience within the organization, interviews, what they need, different jobs, opportunities, policies, processes. So again, I'm happy, obviously, to share that with you. And if you're part of my coaching program, make sure that you're attending those sessions on Thursdays, because that's where we really get to dissect the different opportunities that the NHS has, to make sure you know what you need, how to apply, what should be on your application, what to look out for, what is a must in terms of the interview, what are the questions that you're expected to ask, but most importantly, how should you respond to those questions. And also, if you check on the community hub, you're going to see the resources section. It's got loads of practice interview questions, real NHS interview questions, to make sure that as you're going for those interviews, you're in the best position possible to get that job, be successful, and move forward. And that is why, people who are part of my coaching program, that's why the success rates are very high with NHS jobs. It can take a while to get them, definitely so, but it is worth it in the end. And you get visa sponsorship without spending a penny, because NHS jobs, it's always free sponsorship. Like I say, it's drama free. You experience nothing like what happens in the private sector. Also, another advantage that you have is the pension. The NHS has the best pension in the UK when it comes to a private pension, which means that when you work for the NHS, as well as your normal state pension that you're paying for from your national insurance, you're also having a private NHS pension. And look, if you have the patience to work for the NHS and retire within the NHS, when you retire, you're going to be like, oh my God, it was really worth it because the pension is a lot. You're going to end up as a really wealthy pensioner. But if you work in the private sector, they have little to no good pension whatsoever. So if you're not saving up or you're not investing or you're not thinking about another retirement plan, you're going to be like scrounging during your pension age when you retire. So look, you don't want to think about that. And if you're like me and you're somebody who is keen on retiring early, then at this time you should be exploring other opportunities that can help you to enhance your income to earn a lot more so that you can retire early and not even have to worry about your state pension or your NHS pension or any other private pension for that matter, but that you're investing in real assets that are going to grow over time and make you have a lot more money. So the NHS pension is the best in the country, so, and the reason why it's the best is because when you put in money, your employer is putting in about 21% every single month for you. So that's a huge amount compared to any other sector in this country. So you want to consider that obviously when you're applying for NHS jobs, or if you work for the NHS now, you want to explore those opportunities and make sure that you're taking advantage of all the opportunities that it does bring. Another advantage is also like leave, sick leave, because as human beings, we're going to have those moments where we are not well. And if you're not well, you need to stay home and recover fully before you return to work. The NHS, me, for example, because of how long I've worked for the NHS, I would be entitled to, I think, 6 months of full pay now, 6 months of half pay plus statutory sick pay. So it ends up like over a year of like full pay. So that is huge because if you're watching this and you work for the private sector or you're not aware, the private sector only pay, some employers pay like 2 weeks of full pay. Many employers don't pay anything at all, which means that you're just getting like the statutory sick pay, which is like ridiculous. You get less than £500 per month. So with the NHS, it's a huge amount of money and you're still going to get your full pay even if you're off sick. Maternity leave is the same. You can take up to a year off. So there's paternity leave as well. There's parental leave, there's carers leave, there's compassionate leave. So these are some of the advantages that the NHS has, which is why personally I've been able to work with them for the last 11 years. And I do not regret this at all because I always know that if I've got an emergency, I'm absolutely covered. I don't need to be stressing out, and all of that. So these are some of the advantages that the NHS has. So the flexibility, the job security, drama-free, free visa sponsorship, career progression opportunities, maternity leave, paternity leave, carers leave, compassionate leave. You want to think about those things. What impact will these things have in your life? So again, do share this video, by the way, with your friends, loved ones, colleagues, so they're aware of these opportunities. They can put themselves forward. I know that it can be incredibly challenging applying for NHS jobs, but it is well worth it. So if you're trying to take shortcuts, please don't. And if you need that personalized guidance, tailored advice, you need one-to-one support with NHS jobs and apprenticeships, then do feel free to check out the description box below or the about section of this channel and join my private coaching program where I'm able to give you that one-to-one support to make sure that we are tailoring that application to you, and most importantly producing what the NHS expects, needs and deserves from you as a future employee, because you want to join in you want to join in as the top 1%, so that when you're recruited, they have very high expectations and they know that you are a candidate for progression. Because like I always say, when you're going to an interview, you're not just going to get the job, you're going to present yourself in such a way that when future opportunities come up and you're not in the room, people are sat there saying, Melvis would be ideal for this opportunity. Jane would be perfect for this job. That is what you want. That is the sort of rapport that you want when you work for an organization with endless opportunities such as the NHS. And these are the things that have helped me to progress beautifully in my own journey. So I'm saying this out of experience and just to share that with you, because I know you may be watching this and you're still out of the UK and you're thinking, oh, is it worth the extra effort? It is definitely 100% worth it. So what do you think about this? Are you going to put yourself forward? If you want to know some of the NHS jobs that are currently recruiting with visa sponsorship or not, or with the best career progression opportunities, do leave a comment in the comment section, and I'm more than happy to share that. Also check out this other video that I've linked up specially for you. I'll see you in this video.